Hello, I have ADHD. There's a lot of ADHD videos online. I'm just going to add to it, obviously. But I'm finally going to get Adderall. I'm getting it 10 milligrams tomorrow. I already have it, but I'm taking it tomorrow morning. I think that's a starter dose, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'm 44 years old. I waited forever to get it because I was in the military and everything else. I never would admit I had ADHD. Honestly, I was kind of not very smart because I think I won't lie, I thought ADHD was, you know, like a learning disability or something like that. Maybe it is, I don't know. But my grades weren't great in school. I didn't have a lot of friends in school, actually. I was odd, but it didn't really faze me because I accepted myself that way. But I joined the Marine Corps. That was tough because everyone treated me like a child. But I was still a hard worker. I always had a lot of jobs growing up. And never got fired just from one job to another. Just I was getting bored or whatever else. I never even knew what ADHD was. So now people always told me to slow down. I always told them just to speed up, listen to me faster. So it was just, I just never even assumed it. Then went to just, I could talk for hours, went from one job to another job, and did a lot of no relationships, none at all. Just became just working, no social life. I just, you know. Then I joined the Marine Corps. Then the reserves. Then I went active duty. Then I was, like it says, I'm all over the place. So I'll probably try to do another video tomorrow to see how I'm on with the ADHD med. But let me go back and forth what I'm talking about here. I intentionally didn't take notes because just to show you how weird my mind works. It's always going 1,000 miles an hour, so it's hard for me to focus. I'm not stupid, but it's just hard to accept that my mind's this way, especially since I was. So let me go back. Marine Corps. I was injured in Iraq, tank explosion, blah blah blah. So I ended up being medically discharged for PTSD. This was 15 years ago, and for other things, for physical injury too and stuff. But that led to me thinking about my issues were caused from my PTSD alone. You know? Not even thinking about ADHD. Just the last thing on my mind. It didn't even came up a couple of times with the doctors, and I said, no, there's no way I have ADHD. That I would have known, or it's. I always thought of it as for somebody who's weak in the mind, you know. So, but you know, I do have PTSD a little bit from, you know what I mean. But it definitely affects me. But ADHD, I'm pretty sure if I would have treated it earlier, I think it makes my PTSD worse. But sorry, I'm going back and forth. So I came back. I started doing a lot of charity work. This is up in Pennsylvania. Did all that non-stop charity. I just wanted to keep my mind busy all the time. You know what I mean? It was good to get. I always saying I was going to get over my anxiety issues and all that kind of stuff. My mind was all focusing on my PTSD, thinking, well, it's definitely something. So I'm crying easily, crying nightmares, all that kind of stuff, you know. So, sorry. So then I focused on being. So like I said, it's hard for me. I intentionally didn't take notes because I just wanted to see how hard it is for me to concentrate. So. So then I did a lot of charity work. Then after that, I did what do you call it? Volunteer work. So it forces me to get out to be social. People thought of me as hyper, but they just thought of me as, I was a disabled veteran, so they treated me, you know, okay, that's just how he is because he got his issues. So I just dealt with that. You know what I mean? It didn't bother me. I just thought of it as I just felt good because it was good for my. I won't lie, I always saw myself as not too bright, but I always considered myself smart. I always remembered the positive things. You know what I mean? Like in the Marine Corps, I got top in the class. Do you know what I mean? But don't ask why. I'm hyper-focused, because I guess that's what ADHD does. And I was, out of 30 people, I placed first. So that made me feel, I can't be stupid. You know what I mean? But when you hyper-focus on something, I'm learning from ADHD, that you can become really good at it. But you can also be hyper-focused on bad things, blah, 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 and always in denial about this ADHD, just thinking, nah. So then all that charity work I did for nonstop for many years, that got me a job at the newspaper, working 90 hours a week. I was a newspaper reporter, just working forever, for many, many years. And you can't be stupid, right? If you're a newspaper reporter, you know. But in reality, yeah, it was, my mind couldn't focus. But I was covering 9 things a day, or 33 photos were in the paper in one day, you know. I mean, I'm the ADHD newspaper, you know. It made me feel good, made me feel like I was in control of my mind, you know. But when it came to like adrenaline rush or anything, I'm learning all this in the last year or so. Do you know what I mean? And the funny, so then what? So then they're not. But there's a catch. You can only reach that dopamine so high naturally. I'm not pushing meds, but I should have taken meds many years ago. My life would be a whole lot simpler, you know. Been single my whole life, pretty much. So it's had its ups and downs. You know what I mean? I always said I was like Superman. ADHD is a superpower, and I kept saying all that, and to a point it is, you know. But it has its downfalls too. So that's why I'm hoping I'm going to start taking, first time ever, because I looked and I got it. I thought I'm online, get a prescription, and we'll see what happens. But then I decided, probably I got so sorry, in tangents. So I got so hyper-focused after I started going from 90 hours a week to 40 hours a week because the newspaper cut back. My issues became worse. I was blaming it on my PTSD, but I'm thinking my PTSD was still there from the service and slight depression, whatever else. But I think ADHD had a big part to play as well. So that led to me being like, so what's going on with, you know what I mean? So what's going on wrong with me? So then I think, now you know what? So to prevent from being too crazy, I had bad thoughts, you know what I mean? Just not unhealthy thoughts. And not to hurt myself, but to, you know, just to fix things in the world. It was weird. So I said, you know what? I'm going to reset. You know what I mean? I'm going to move to Florida. You know what I mean? So I reset 1,000 miles away, live alone down here, and I got 2 cats, you know? And it's a different lifestyle. I'm not in the city, so I'm in a relaxation. I live along a canal, so it's very peaceful, but I'm not used to that. But that's why I moved down here, hoping that it would fix me. And of course, the dopamine levels are higher. My energy's higher because it's a new environment and everything else, but I quickly got used to that. You know, then I'm finding ways to seek attention from strangers, and it's just very unhealthy. It's just it's like now I see I'm looking outside in. I have no distractions. I can see myself from learning, from talking to others, and blah blah blah, and actually having conversations with people, which I couldn't do up north because I was working so much. And I definitely have ADHD, and it affected so much. Like even working, I got a job at the post office, you know what I mean, and that didn't work out because I got upset because the guy was treating me like a child, you know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, maybe I was a child, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But either way, I need to try this. So we're gonna see how it goes, and I'm always talking over people, so it's hard to socialize. It's hard to have a conversation with people, and people. The good thing is I'm very energetic around people, and one thing I'm learning about ADHD is you usually attract people that don't have that energy or just like the energy. But it can be a double-edged sword. They can pull you down too. You know what I mean? So like I'm all over the place, and it kind of makes me forget about my problems because my mind won't let me focus. It's just too much. It's like a short fog, a crazy fog. I can't explain it. So I think when I'm thinking of something, my mind's thinking of 1,000 different things. I'm bored so easily, you know. But that's why I would even get a headache just if I've had a 5-second conversation about something, or more than 20 seconds, you know. That's why when I was a newspaper reporter up north, I'd have to write everything down, and even then I would get such a headache. It would be just terrible because I found ways to cope, but they were just fixed, you know what I mean? So over time you can only reach this light, and I reached that high now. Do you know what I'm saying? And you can't go any higher without taking risk and doing stupid things. Do you know what I mean? So, and I'm not in a bad way. I mean, I definitely accomplished a lot. I've gotten a lot of awards, but in the Marines, after the Marines, all that kind of. I did a lot of volunteer work, like I said. But it was just for me. I was doing it for me to keep myself sane. Just thinking. Just as it's like a high or something like that, but whatever. I'm going off on a tangent. There's a lot I want to say, but it's just hard for me to pull it in because I can't recall. But I did that intentionally. So I will probably I will do a video tomorrow to see how I can hopefully put things together easier. I'm not sure, because I know the first day on Adderall supposedly might be a little wired more, so I'm not sure how that's going to work with me. I don't know, we'll see. But then it's a couple of days and it kicks in. It's also one of the smaller doses, and I weigh 165, so I don't weigh too much. But yep. So we'll see what happens, and wish me luck in regards to the day before Adderall. So let's see what happens. So, and thank you for watching the video, and cross my fingers and see how it works. I'm very happy for this. I've talked to so many other people who've done it, and there seems like no bad things for ADHD, especially if you're as hyper and high strung as me. If you take it and you don't need it, you're not gonna like the side effects from what I've seen. I'm not gonna give advice because I don't know yet. You know what I mean? But if I'm learning, if you're as bad as me, I'm 1000% definition of ADHD, and it took me a long time to admit that I had it, because I always thought it was a bad thing. I'm going off on tangents again. Okay, later.